Now it's time for the latest instalment of our mini-series called Our Beginner's Guide to, where we chat about those big, important money and consumer issues that we should understand with experts who know them inside out. This week we are talking about car insurance, and joining us to chat about that is Scott Dixon, who is a consumer and motoring disputes expert. Scott, welcome back to Consumer Fight Back. It's lovely to have you along with us this morning. Let's start with the basics. Why is car insurance so important?
Well, it's a legal necessity and it's something you can't avoid having. And you may be surprised to hear that car insurance premiums are falling, but it can still feel like a lottery when your renewal letter arrives. And according to figures from the Association of British Insurers, the average premium from July to September was £551, and that's down 10% from £612 in the same quarter of 2024. And although premiums are falling, insurers paid out $3 billion in car insurance claims during the third quarter of 2025. And that's down to repair costs alone with $1.9 billion. And the industry are saying modern vehicles, they're more costly to repair due to the vast array of technology and the time it takes to fix them, and also increased labour costs, materials, energy, Brexit, even the Ukraine war, with the shortage of chips. It's a perfect storm that did see premiums shoot up, but finally coming down by all accounts.
Well, perhaps that's definitely some good news for consumers out there. So, Scott, can you just explain the difference for us between third-party fire and theft and fully comprehensive insurance?
Yeah, well, third-party fire and theft, that covers you for collisions involving a third party, and also theft of your vehicle and if it goes up in flames, if you like. Whereas fully comprehensive cover, that covers you for your vehicle, third parties, theft, and it covers you for most common scenarios, whereas third party just gives you the most basic of cover.
So essentially, if you were involved in a collision with another driver and both cars were damaged very badly and it was your fault, your insurance would cover to pay for the other driver's repairs and whatever costs are involved there, but it wouldn't cover your vehicle. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. For younger drivers, black box telematics insurance is what's the preferred option. Mm-hmm. And these are aimed at younger drivers who often struggle to get affordable car insurance. Black box insurance, it's a type of car insurance policy that calculates your premium based on the way that you drive. So it uses technology to track your driving style and how much you drive, and it takes into account braking, cornering, steering, speed, and the times you drive day and night, and mileage. So it can work well if you are a cautious driver.
What happens after that, once you've had a black box? Are you disadvantaged when you go back into the world of looking for your next year's policy?
It depends on how you've built up the history of driving, if you like. So if you've built up a few years' history of good driving, you've got that evidenced, you're at good risk, I'll take the view that once you come off the black box and go into the conventional car insurance market, you've built up a few years no claims bonus, you've got the proof and evidence that you are a good risk. So for younger drivers, I would say definitely consider using the black box insurance and get that few years under your belt of good driving, no claims, build up your no claims discount. And if and when you decide to go back into the conventional car insurance market, you shouldn't be disadvantaged because you've got that proof and evidence behind you that you are a good risk.
Yeah, I suppose on the other side of the coin, it could also prove that you're not a very good driver.
Well, this is it. That is the flip side. If you are a bad driver, there's so many different variables. If the insurer gauges that you are a higher risk, that will reflect on your premiums.
There is a lot to consider, and I'm just having a look at some of the other things here. We've got your windscreen cover, your legal cover, and your breakdown cover. So, do we need to keep all of these things in mind whenever we are actually looking for car insurance? What's the best way to get the best value out of it all, Scott?
Well, what I would say is, for example, I'll get my car serviced at a main dealership, and it's a Nissan dealership, and they give you free breakdown cover for the next 12 months with your car service. So and that can save you up to £60 a year.
Mm-hmm.
And packaged bank accounts may also have breakdown cover included as well. And what I would suggest is look through all the boxes and untick a few boxes to see what difference it makes, but don't skimp on the essentials. Legal protection cover is something I would do without, especially in the era of personal injury claims. And also, make sure that your no claims bonus is protected too. Windscreen cover is probably worth having as well. Everyone's circumstances differ.
And whenever you're declaring details to your insurance, there's obviously so many things to go through. Your age, your gender, your location, perhaps you've maybe had points before, modifications on your car. Why is it so important to make sure those details are correct?
Well, honesty is the best policy, Lindsay. And whether it's your job title, your location, using parents to front your cover, that's what it's known as, to get the cheaper premium. An interesting thing to consider for your listeners is cross-border commuting.
Yeah.
And it's a fascinating aspect and potentially a loophole insurers could use to invalidate your insurance policy if you haven't disclosed it. Usually you have two policy uses. So you've got social, domestic, and pleasure, which is what I've got because I work from home. But others who do commuting, they would have social, domestic, pleasure, and commuting to your normal place of work. But if you live in, say, Northern Ireland and you commute to Southern Ireland or vice versa, if your place of work is effectively in a different country to where you live, the insurer could say that your policy doesn't cover you for that and you should have disclosed it. So anyone that's listening who does cross-border commuting, be on the safe side, contact your insurer, tell them. It probably won't make much of a difference to your premium, but honesty is always the best policy. And with my car, I've got rear tinted windows. It doesn't make any difference to the premium, but because it's a modification, I've declared it just to be on the safe side. And even if you've got tow bars or roof racks for your bicycles, these are all classed as modifications. So
I would not have thought about that.
I
So
know
if you have that sort of privacy glass in the back of your car or a tow bar, that's considered a modification, is it?
Yeah, it is.
That's really interesting advice. So cross-border working declaration, that would apply to, I'm sure, quite a few people living in Northern Ireland, and also just making sure all of those details are correct in terms of your modifications and everything about your address, your age, everything is all correct. Now, if you're actually going to look for insurance, my goodness, there's so many options out there at the minute. What's the best place to start?
You can use different car insurance comparison sites, but the first thing I look for is the de facto star ratings when I'm comparing policies and quotes. And this gives you an independent rating for every insurance product. So a 1-star policy is rated as a basic product offering only a few features and benefits, whereas a 5-star policy is rated as an excellent product with a comprehensive range of features and benefits. So it's not always about the price. Yeah, look not just for the right cover, but also, look for the star ratings and make sure you time it right. Never let your policy auto renew. And 27 days before the policy expires is what's considered the sweet spot. And even leaving it a few days later than 27 days can increase the quote by £20 or £30.
What about no claims bonus then? Because you've maybe built up you built up a no claims bonus obviously for the years of having an insurance policy where you have not claimed on that policy, and many insurers will maybe offer you a slightly better price if you have that. But what's the benefit of protecting your no claims bonus?
Well, it's worth protecting your no claims bonus because it can allow you maybe up to 2 or 3 claims without fully discounting your no claims bonus. So if you protect it, it will allow you maybe 1 or 2 claims without it completely bringing your no claims bonus down to 0. So it doesn't cost that much. But the time that you don't protect your no claims bonus is the time that you wish you had.
Yeah.
So it's worth protecting it just to be on the safe side, and it doesn't cost that much more.
What if the worst does happen and you end up in a motor accident or a collision, I should say, because accident implies it is an accident and there's no blame. What are one of the first things you should do if you're involved in a collision and it comes to that time where you need to contact your insurer?
The first thing that you should do is never admit liability and get the details from the driver right at the point of the collision and let your insurance deal with it. Don't try and sort it out amongst yourselves and report it to the police as well. Take photos, get all the evidence that you need,
That's a
but
big
never
one,
admit
isn't it?
liability.
The
Yeah.
evidence is a big one, isn't it? Because insurers are very interested in that to see. And I suppose it helps you too from your position. The more evidence you can give them, the better, really.
And as you rightly pointed out, never refer to a collision as an accident because accidents imply that nobody is at fault, whereas a collision does.
Great advice, Scott. Thank you so much. That's
Thank
brilliant.
you.
Scott Dixon.